Hey, it's the Paulacious One, coming to you from the file room of the basement of WCPT 820 in Chicago. Checking the file on the Sports Cubicle, the hosts, systems analyst Mike Mercado, project manager Devin Tingle, the marvelous one, Dan Marver in accounting, and me, well, it doesn't matter what I do. You can check us out, the Sports Cubicle, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 Chicago. Gotta go, Sports Cubicle, 9 p.m. Sundays, WCPT. Hey, it's the Paulacious One, coming to you from the file room of the basement of WCPT 820 in Chicago. Checking the file on the Sports Cubicle, the hosts, systems analyst Mike Mercado, project manager Devin Tingle, the marvelous one, Dan Marver in accounting, and me, well, it doesn't matter what I do. You can check us out, the Sports Cubicle, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 Chicago. Gotta go, Sports Cubicle, 9 p.m. Sundays, WCPT.
Alrighty, friends, we are here. Welcome in to the Watchalong for the 2023 NFL Draft here on the Sports Cubicle on Sports from the Couch. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, Devin Tingle, Paul Chivari, and the marvelous one, Dan Marver. Throughout the entire show, we will actually be hearing from the marvelous one and Devin a little later after the Chicago Bears make their pick. And we have finally made it here to April 27th, 2023. The NFL Draft is in Kansas City. The Chicago Bears are on the clock at number 9. The Carolina Panthers are on the clock with the number 1 pick, and there is so much going on, and we are here to watch it, break it all down, instant reaction, and we appreciate each and every one of you making us a part of your day. Thank you to each and every one of you who was out there to send me some happy birthdays. I appreciate each and every one of you. Of course, a huge thank you, and I love you to my wonderful wife for an awesome day, to my parents who obviously wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, and all the family and friends who sent me love. I appreciate it. So we're here. I got the party gear on. It is a time for celebration. Spring is here. The Cubs beat the Padres. The Bears are looking to the future. We have a bear with a party hat on, guys. It is time. We are going to just be sitting with each other and enjoying each other's company, and it should be a fun night, an intriguing night, an eventful night of just awesome storylines, and of course, a day where a lot of people's dreams come true, and it's going to be a wonderful time. Before we get any further, a huge thank you to our sponsor, Sheets and Giggles. That's right, Sheets and Giggles. They have the greatest stuff when it comes to eucalyptus mattresses. You talk about comfort, you talk about ease, you talk about style, you talk about ways of living lives. The only way to do it, the only way to live like a king, like you do if you're a Bears fan, knowing that Justin Fields is our quarterback, is by going to sheetsandgiggles.com, taking a look at their amazing archives of awesome inventory, and using the promo code, the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch, for 15% off all betting. That's Sheets and Giggles. Check it out at Sheets and Giggles. Promo code, the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. We are just minutes away. The NFL draft has started. You guys can hear it right here. They are breaking it down. We will be checking in when it actually is time for selection. Easy night. You guys can comment. We'll be checking it out. You'll be seeing some behind-the-scenes stuff. You know, this is easy. Not a huge production team. It's just me. And then we're having some of the friends join us in a little bit. But it should be a lot of fun. And I think this is a great time to kind of just enjoy a Thursday night heading into a weekend, a long weekend for me to celebrate my birthday. And I'm excited to spend at least this portion of my birthday with each and every one of you. So a cheers to each and every one of you. We'll be getting some of our favorite beverages and food. I hope you do as well. We are streaming this on YouTube. We've sent a link over on Facebook. There'll be one on Twitter in just a little bit. And this will be archived, of course, if you missed it. And we're going to take some of the portions of this and be playing it on the Sports Cubicle this coming up Sunday. So a lot of fun stuff to get into. Why don't we take a quick listen to what's going on in these draft? Some Journey. It's time. You know it's sports when Journey is being played. We'll take that off so that we don't get copyright or brought anything down to us. So we take a look. Let us see. Want to make sure that everybody is doing okay, that the stream looks fun, and I hope you guys are each having a wonderful Thursday night. Taking a look. Thank you guys for joining us and being part of our watch along. It means a lot to us. Thank you. We're taking a look. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV. Be part of the conversation the entire night, anytime, 24/7. Yeah, something is bothering you, something got you hot and bothered, let us know. We would love to talk to you and share your thoughts on the show. Always some hype packages. And then you get a wonderful, always, these commercials, right? Like, who's living this life? Tell me the scouts that look this good, that are just this about it, look from Central Casting in these commercials. That's so funny. All right, so easily this movie makes $4 billion, right? When it comes to the Fast and the Furious, it should be. I still think, shout out to the digital team over at Heartland Signal. I still think the Flash is going to be $1 billion, but we'll wait and see how that one goes. Okay. So, I guess now, since we've kind of gotten some of the, all the tech stuff out of the way, excuse me. So, I believe that it's a good time now, more than ever. I sent out this tweet over on Mike M Media. That's where you can check me out on Twitter. And you guys should, let me get it so I get the exact wording. I can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago. So, I believe the Chicago Bears will trade out of number 9 tonight unless one of the top 3 defensive linemen falls to them. They will gather as much draft capital and select the highest graded tackle on the board. My dark horse is Bijan Robinson. Can they deal with Washington and get Chase Young? Now, we know Chase Young's 5th-year option will not be picked up, so that's going to be interesting to see what the Commanders do with that. And then there was a trade that happened, and I want to get the exact details of it. So if you haven't seen it, you haven't heard about it, the Cardinals, this is a rumor from Mike Florio that the Cardinals are trying to send number 3 overall pick and the Andre Hopkins to the Titans for number 11 pick plus more. So we'll see how that plays out, how much of that is actually a thing. I haven't seen a new draft board. I haven't seen a trade actually go through. So we'll find out how much of this is actually a thing where it ends up laying off for this draft. And a lot of it for me now, for the Chicago Bears, is draft placement of a lot of these different players. This is where, if you're a Bears fan, you're looking at who's going quarterback, who's going defense, who's going out of left field. And I'll actually pull up a current NFL draft order so we can have it official. By this point, we all know it, but you know, when push comes to shove, it's actually time to pull it from top of dome. You see, take a look. Go to draft order. So, just taking a look. So you have the Carolina Panthers at 1. They're going quarterback, right? Probably Bryce Young. Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud or Will Levis. Will Levis, C.J. See, all these guys are interchangeable. At some points, you're hearing Will Levis has blown people away. Even Anthony Richardson. You have, obviously, everything with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. So, interesting enough, I think all are in play for all these teams, right? Like, everybody's trying to make these hot takes and, you know, the definitive statements, but I think it's all on the table. So, the commissioner's actually on the podium. Let's see what he's saying really fast. As he's getting booed, it is the Panthers, the Texans, the Cardinals, the Colts, the Seahawks, the Lions, the Raiders, the Falcons, the Bears, and at number 10, the Eagles. Currently in play, the Tennessee Titans at 11.
Okay, welcome to Kansas City and the 2023 NFL Draft.
We'd love to see a football game in Kansas City.
On the road, we get to celebrate the draft in the Super Bowl winning city with fans of all 32 teams and the Chiefs Kingdom. As you can see, I have some friends on stage with me.
So a little behind the scenes, I am actually watching this on 2 different screens. I have a screen right here, and then I have something that's taking the audio source. It is another video source, but it's taking only the audio. If you're watching the video here on YouTube.com, the Sports Cubicle, and at Sports from the Couch, everywhere else, and wherever you get all your media, of course, check us out. And we're on real time here on our second screen, but, you know, just for audio's sake, it is just so you guys know, full disclosure of how it's working here behind the scenes in our watch-along. It's the 2023 draft, guys. It's my birthday. What a great time. What a great weekend. I hope you guys are being awesome. I hope you guys are all safe and sound. You know I love you all, and I'm so glad you're making us a part of your day. And, yeah, you know, that's a bad man right there, right? You can't think of an NFL draft. You can't think of what is happening in the NFL in draft time without thinking about Patrick Mahomes and the Chicago Bears if you're a Bears fan. And you can't stop thinking about Mitch Trubisky and you know, Leonard Floyd and just so many different picks over the years. And we'll see now with Ryan Poles, with a Matt Eberflus, with a Kevin Warren, where they're going to be this in their mindset. And, you know, Patrick Mahomes is an example of missing. And what happens when you hint on somebody's mistake and able to have a team and build a team around a player and know how to do that. And you're looking at it around the league right now. Jalen Hurts just got paid. Lamar Jackson just got paid before that draft kicked off. Huge deal. You have Aaron Rodgers in New York. So we know how important the quarterback play is. We know how important it is to hit on the quarterback play. We also know how important it is to make sure that the team, that everything surrounding this top asset, this big, the most important player in all of sports in whatever major metropolitan they're playing in, you got to hit on it, and then you got to hit on the surrounding thing. This is why the Robinson take, I know a lot of people have asked me about why do I think they might go this direction. They need an interior lineman, whether it's on the defense or offensive side. Because I believe if you as Cincinnati Bengals fans, yeah, they would love an offensive lineman, but did they rather have the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow combo? Now, I'm not guaranteeing you that's what it is. You can't compare Justin Fields to Joe Burrow. No, but Joe Burrow might be the best quarterback in the league. And we don't know what this Robinson kid is, but the consensus is everybody, if this was 1999, he would far and ahead be the number one pick. But because it's 2023, but I'll ask you this. If he ends up being Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, name your favorite running back if you're a fantasy football lover. Wouldn't you want him? Wouldn't you want him? So we're going to go ahead and get back to you, the video stream, because I could see that they're talking about the number one overall pick, which I had to deal with, the Chicago Bears. We are here, the 2023 NFL Draft Watch-Along. We're going to be watching along until the Chicago Bears make a pick, and then at least when it comes to live, then we'll be joined by Devin Tingle and the marvelous one, Dan Marver, for a few minutes of instant reaction on what the Chicago Bears do, whether they pick at 9, whether they trade down, they trade up, they trade out, whatever the case may be. And then we will be calling it a night on Thursday night because we have a full weekend ahead of us in all sports. And we want to thank you for joining us here on the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. Whether you're watching us live on youtube.com/the Sports Cubicle, or if you are checking us out on WCPT 820, or wherever you your favorite podcast over at Sports from the Couch. Make sure you check out our friends over at Sheets and Giggles. 15% off if you use the promo code the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. So 10 minutes. Carolina is on the clock. We will see which way they go. I am fascinated, so I'm going to do something for one quick second, guys. You're going to be seeing this throughout the night. I'm going to go a little bit behind the scenes for a second. I want to do something really fast. You might hear a little noise, but give me 1 second, okay? So we are going to actually turn this off for 1 second. All right, so you guys are on another screen. I want to just see how much time delay difference there is between where I'm at and... All right, so it looks like I am probably... All right, I am finally on time, so let us get back to normal, and we are back to where we want it to be. All right, guys. So we were a few seconds off on the video stream. I just wanted to make sure. So we'll turn this off for 1 second. So, yeah, I mean, you're seeing all the Carolina stuff. So this is a great time if you're a Bears fan. What's going on with Carolina, right? So the Bears obviously have their pick next year. And to start the conversation, I think we have to go with how good do you think the Chicago Bears are going to be next year? I think they're going to be better than 3-4 wins like this year. I think they might be 6 or 7, just, based off of math and probability and just football stuff, right? Football is football. So I think the interesting thing would be, okay, let's say the Bears end up around 6 wins, right? So they pick 10, whatever. Carolina's decision right here, in a bad NFC South right now, on paper, could go anywhere. But if this is a team that picks anywhere from 1 to 5, Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like a nice pick at that point. But that is how that trade was so big. Ryan Poles being able to move number 1 for not only number 9, not only their number 1 pick next year from Carolina, but obviously DJ Moore. And that's why the Robinson thing isn't crazy to me, especially if you trade down to 10, 11, 12, wherever that might be. I do think there is some possibility that they can go that direction. So just some food for thought as we see Carolina, what they're going to do. I do think they're going to go Bryce Young. I do think for a while it was Will Levis. It could have been C.J. Stroud. I still think it's any one of these guys, but as of right now, I do think it is Bryce Young. Let me do a quick air check, guys. Yeah. So I'm fascinated to see where they go in this direction. But let us know, where do you guys think this is going to end up for the Carolina Panthers? Where do you think they go? Where would you go? We go back to ESPN.
10 or 204. Yeah, it's worth saying for those who haven't been following the draft process closely. If he was 6'3" and 225, we'd be talking about him as one of the great prospects.
I do agree with that too.
Chicago would have stayed put and taken him if he was 6'2", Greeny, and even with Justin.
I don't know about that. I don't know if they'd be sticking with him if he was 6'2".
We can argue that another time.
You know, I think that is. It is its own interesting. I've had this conversation with Paulie Dangerous, Paul Chivari, before, and even manager of WCPT and Newsweb Radio, Mark Pinsky, about what would happen if Justin Fields or Bryce Young were in the same draft, if there was a size difference. Like, where would I go in that direction? And I think it's without a shadow of doubt, besides a Trevor Lawrence. Besides Trevor Lawrence, I think without a shadow of a doubt, he was the number 2 quarterback. Justin Fields was somebody who, forever since high school, was always the guy behind a Trevor Lawrence. The fact that San Francisco went for Trey Lance, and it's only because San Francisco gets the benefit of the doubt that we're not questioning it right now. But it was definitely a bad pick from Lynch and Shanahan and that entire regime. And I think it's interesting to see where they're at right now and how quarterback scouting, it's something that I've always found fascinating, is done. The attributes that you love, right? I love a Justin Herbert, but there are plenty, including Paul, who could poke all the holes in loving a quarterback like that. So yeah, you could convince yourself on Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young is going to be awesome. You could convince yourself on the attributes of C.J. Stroud and Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. So one of these guys is going to lose somebody jobs. A lot of jobs will be lost because only one of these quarterbacks is going to make somebody right. That's just probability. That's just odds. Maybe 2. So we'll see. We are coming down to the pick is in apparently. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here.
Began here. Just less than 10 minutes ago, we were told by Bryce Young's father that they had not yet heard from Carolina. So I suppose it is not beyond the realm of possibility we're about to get one of the big surprises that we've ever seen. But the expectation is it will be Bryce Young. And let's just double back to the point we made a few moments ago. If he was 6'3" and weighed 225 pounds, what would you be saying about him now?
You could say generational, but he doesn't have the howitzer for an arm. He doesn't have 4-5 speed, so he doesn't have elite talent. What he is just a heck of a quarterback. He sees things that nobody else does. He has eyes in the back of his head. He processes so quickly. He basically has a photographic memory. Yeah. He picks things up that quickly. Give him the game plan, he'll have it done in a minute. So the bottom line with Bryce Young is, and I worry about it, I know you don't, Bo.
I don't.
I worry about him being able to withstand that punishment at only 5'10", and what's he going to play at? 185, 190? We've never seen that in the history of the NFL.
But if you see some of the bigger quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, they've all been hurt. It's not if they're going to get hurt, it's when. That's why I don't worry about the durability.
It is interesting, you know, we see the whole Tua thing, right? And how that's going to play out, the size being such an important thing. You know, it is. It simply is that these guys are so big, so fast, and if you don't have somebody who can take the hits, it's detrimental. That's why you can see a conundrum for Bears fans on what today could bring for them. Let's go ahead.
Here comes the commission with the announcement of the first pick of the night.
With the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft,
Let's see who it is.
the Carolina Panthers select
From the Chicago Bears.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young is the quarterback heading to Carolina. It seemed, and it is the thing that happens every draft season. A lot of talk, a lot of nonsense, a lot of mock drafts, and at the end of the day, it was the guy we thought it was going to be from Jump Street, from the beginning. They got their quarterback. It is going to be interesting to see how it plays out and what the rest of the NFC South does to counteract this move. But Bryce Young is heading to Carolina. The Panthers have made their pick. via the Chicago Bears in that huge trade. They have found their quarterback. Will he be their franchise quarterback? We want to know your thoughts. We're on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV. You can follow me on Twitter. If you guys have any questions, make sure you follow me. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media. Leave a comment on the YouTube channel. We're at youtube.com, the Sports Cubicle. Look us up also at Sports from the Couch. You'll find us that way. We're live here. A watch-along of the 2023 NFL Draft. We are going up into the Chicago Bears. Instant reaction. Devin Tingle and the marvelous one, Dan Marver, will be joining us in a little while to break this down, this craziness that was the NFL Draft. And we will see now that the Houston Texans are on the clock. This could be a real shakeup of the draft, depending on what Houston does.
As far as anticipation and accuracy and being able to layer throws over the second level in between linebackers and safeties, it's as good as you will see. I will say this, though, in talking to some of the coaches down there, look, they don't want him to live in that environment where he's trying to make those special plays all the time. They want him to win from the pocket.
Give me a moment. Subway is taking us down to the stage, and Susie, who's standing by with the number 1 pick.
Oh, okay. If they're going to go to a sponsor, let's go to our friend. Go to sheetsandgiggles.com. They have a wonderful array of products, including a eucalyptus mattress, something to sleep on that will make you feel like royalty, like you're sleeping on the clouds. And the best part about it, if you find some bedding that you love, you get 15% off by using the promo code The Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. They love us. We love you. We love each other. Use the promo code Sheets and Giggles. While you're at it, make sure you're following us on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV. Make sure you subscribe to us on youtube.com, youtube.com/Sports Cubicle TV. And of course, Sports from the Couch. We are here. We are live. We are enjoying the NFL Draft, an interesting night. And thank you to each and every one of you who has sent me some birthday love. We hope you're enjoying your Thursday nights. Let's go ahead and get back into see what they are talking about in Kansas City.
In the common draft era, you might be wondering where's Joe Namath. Namath went in 1965, number 2 overall in the old American Football League. That, of course, was before the common draft era. So Bryce Young now the highest drafted of any Alabama quarterback of all time. So now we have gotten through the portion of the evening that we foresaw. Let the intrigue begin.
This is exactly what we were talking about, right? The Texans will determine where this draft goes. Let's listen.
Season finale when the Houston Texans won that day, but lost out on the number 1 overall pick. They tried to trade up for number 1, didn't get there. There's been a lot of debate in this organization about whether to go defense. In the end, it certainly sounds like now they're settling towards the offensive side of the football.
Okay, that's interesting. So Will Anderson, Jalen Carter will once again fall down in the draft. Will it be Will Levis? Will it be C.J. Stroud? Will it be Anthony Richardson?
mentioned that Bryce Young was certainly somebody they would covet. I would point out that the quarterback coach of the Texans is Gerard Johnson, who coached.
This should be fascinating, hearing to see the way this all works, right? The behind the scenes of, for some of these executives, this is the last pick they'll ever make in the first round. For some of these executives, this will be the meal ticket that gets them a legacy. For some of these guys, it's a championship, an NFC and AFC championship appearance, a division championship. There is so much that happens on nights like this. And I think for Bears fans, and again, since we're here in Chicago, and you could spin this for any one of your teams. Like if you're Paulie, the Raiders, nights like tonight, if you do correctly, on a night like tonight, on other draft nights, when you hit, when everybody on your scouting team and your management team and your coaching staff are in sync and you make the right choices, you've had a good free agency period. This is when your organization makes a turn. A foundation is built. You know, and we can't talk about them building skyscrapers if we're using these analogies in the NFL. It's not, because these things don't last forever. But if you're able to build something strong enough for a decade to handle a hurricane or two, a bad snowstorm, a tornado, whatever part of the country you're in, if you're able to withstand whatever Mother Nature version of the NFL is, because we know she's a mean and she's not forgiving in this sport, then you got to hit on them. You have no choice. That's what makes you a good team. We saw with Philadelphia. We've seen it with Miami. And now we're trying to see with some of these other teams. And if you're a fan of Chicago, that's where you're hoping for. Let's see what the Houston Texans do.
With the second pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud will be going number 2. So that is the second quarterback. Will a third one be going? I don't think we will be seeing that from Arizona with Kyler Murray. An interesting thing with Kyler Murray, right? Obviously, the injury, the contract, the video game clause. What is this going to play out for them? A new head coach, a tough division. So, yeah, I think the question is it Jalen Carter, or Will Anderson? I've had this feeling that all the talk about Jalen Carter and the legitimate stuff that was happening with the drag racing and someone losing their life and the charges and all that being serious, I feel like if we got to this point and there was already some kind of settlements and it had moved along a little bit and it kind of quieted down, he was going to be drafted pretty high. Like, there's some rumblings about him falling tonight. I don't see that happening. Maybe at Wilson, the third of the 3 defensive tackles that everybody's talking about. But yeah, I don't know. At 3, maybe they trade down. Maybe somebody is desperate enough for Anthony Richardson. Maybe somebody's desperate enough for Will Levis. We've talked about the draft order, where that may fall. So I don't know. I don't know where this one goes. The Texans get C.J. Stroud, though. Was this who they wanted the entire time? Shout out to Lovie Smith for winning that game against the Colts. But where would they have gone? Would they have gone Bryce Young? You know? Like, that's something that I'm fascinated with. Let's listen into what's going on in Kansas City.
If I need to do it, I can do it. I showed you in the Georgia game I could. If he can bottle that performance and take it on into the NFL with the Houston Texans, then you have something special.
Lewis, for weeks you have been saying he was your number 1 quarterback in this class.
Yeah, and really what it was is because of the fact that, you know what, I truly do believe that quarterbacks need to win inside the pocket. That's where you need to live. That's where you're protected. You don't necessarily have to get outside the pocket if you don't have to. And at Ohio State, he didn't have to do it, although he showed later on in the season, as Mel just alluded to against Georgia, that he could. Look, his pocket awareness as far as
So seeing where we're at right now, I wonder, I mean, what do you guys think? You know? Like, if you're Arizona and everything that's happening, you have this new coaching staff, the weirdness of the Kyler Murray situation, you're probably not going to be a good team. Will they trade off from, will Tennessee, see, this is where it gets interesting, right? Like, Tennessee needs a quarterback. They're far, they're behind the Bears. So are they willing to go up and, I don't know. This is fascinating. I think there is a chance that they will trade. I think there's a chance we do see a trade. Let's listen in.
be on the same page and get this young man up to speed.
All right, we're going back down to the stage now. Susie is standing by. Subway brings us there, and she's standing by with the number 2 pick.
All right, so they will be interviewing the young man, C.J. Stroud. Shout out to him. We'll see what happens in Texas. I'm fascinated to see if Tennessee is willing to trade up. I mean, would you do that? I think if you're Tennessee, knowing how bad the AFC South might be, and you got to keep up with Trevor Lawrence, there's a new quarterback in Houston that was drafted ahead of you. They got to pick their guy. I mean, if you're the Colts, And you're sitting there at what, 4? You're Tennessee. You're nervous. Yeah, I could see it. Let's go ahead and check in.
Goes number 2 overall. That sound that you hear across the country is people ripping up their mock drafts because this was not the way we expected this to go. Meanwhile, Shefty, let's come to you. I'm not sure if this is the way the Arizona Cardinals expected to go. So how does this affect them at 3?
Grandy, we're going to have another trade.
Here we go.
Houston coming back up to number 3, it looks like, to trade up to the Arizona.
Oh, my goodness.
To number 3, get number 2, go number 3, and have its pick of the top defensive player.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. The Texans, are you kidding me? Yeah, I mean, now at this point, it's got to be Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. Oh, my gosh.
In my opinion, it was a character off the charts. The production the last couple of years.
What a blockbuster trade.
4'9" guy with great bend. Miles Garrett like a speed skater.
Wow.
Great bend.
Let's go ahead and let's see what the socials are doing.
They use the stunts and the twists. I thought Nick Saban and that defensive staff did a great job. Nick's a Hall of Fame coach, best ever, right?
Yep.
He knows how to get the maximum out of Will Anderson Jr. You want a leader.
That is unbelievable.
Come across, and the production Junior 2 years ago was off the charts. This year, okay, we're not going to let that guy destroy our whole offense, right? They get schemed to be able to neutralize them.
That's unreal. It's got to be Will Anderson, right? It's Will Anderson or Jalen Carter.
And the bottom line, if you're Houston, you have to get a guy that has football character in your building. They need somebody to come in and set the tone of how we do things, how we go about winning, and they need a trend set on the defensive side of the ball. He can
wow, that is unreal, right? And we knew somebody was going to blow up the draft. So now they got their quarterback, and they got their defensive tackle, their rookie, their stalwart that's going to be in the future for them. We'll see who they go with and if that and when that's the case. But what do you got to think if you're the rest of the AFC South? This is something we've been talking about if you're a Bears fan, if you're looking at like Detroit, having somebody who you have a good offense and you've made the right choices, and then you have these absolute studs on defense to go after other quarterbacks. And if you're Houston and you get C.J. Stroud, and now you have somebody who could go after somebody's young quarterback. So poor, let's say like Will Levis might be going to Indianapolis. Well, good luck. Have fun. Hey, we got something for you, Trevor Lawrence. Enjoy this. That is a interesting pick. Let's go back into Bristol in Kansas City.
Okay, and so again, it is the Houston Texans who had picks at 2 and at 12, who have now made the aggressive trade up to 3. We thought that Arizona would move out of that spot. We largely thought that because we thought someone would be coming up to take a quarterback. Yes. That is not the way this night has gone. Bryce Young has gone 1. C.J. Stroud has gone 2. The Houston Texans have gone up.
So if you're the Bears, the dream, right? Again, any of these teams, right? We're using the Bears for example because we're here in Chicago. But if you're a Bears fan, you're just hoping that one of these quarterbacks keeps slipping a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
Will that be Will Anderson? Could it be Jalen Carter, who Mel has at number 1 on the big board? So many questions, but talent is not one of them. We're going to find out right now. Here's Roger Goodell.
Here's with the Texans. Back at it, back-to-back picks.
The Arizona Cardinals have traded the 3rd pick to the Houston Texans. With the 3rd pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Will Anderson Jr.
There you go. Will Anderson Jr. is off the board. There was one mock draft that had him falling all the way past the Bears, and that was always just crazy. This wasn't always a top guy. So the question now becomes, where does Indianapolis go? Obviously, it will be quarterback, in my opinion. The only question is, will it be Anthony Richardson or will it be Will Levis? And I mean, at that point, you're picking attributes and you're hoping that your scouting team got it right. So we'll figure out and we'll see it all together. But we're getting closer and closer to the Chicago Bears making their pick. We hope you each and every one of you are having a wonderful Thursday night here in our watch along. Thank you guys so much for joining me on my birthday, for having a couple hours with us, an hour or two watching the first few picks of this NFL draft. I appreciate it here on the Sports Cubicle on Sports from the Couch. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media, on Instagram Mike Mercado Media. You can follow the show on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV and at Couch Sports Talk. We're on YouTube.com, the Sports Cubicle, or you can search Sports from the Couch, and wherever you get your favorite podcasts, all the different podcast networks at Sports from the Couch. And of course, check out our friends over at Sheets and Giggles. Get 50% off all betting using the promo code the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. That's the awesome people at Sheets and Giggles. They're making this all possible tonight. We love you guys. And thank you to all of you who send me happy birthday love. I love each and every one of you. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Nicole Mancha Mercado, my amazing family and friends, and of course, each and every one of you. I love you guys. It's a wonderful draft night. Look at, we're here to party. Look at guys, I got my shorts on here. I'm gonna do a little show for you. Ooh, look at, hold on. Sorry about not having a tan. It's still not. I still haven't been able to, but we'll get there. Your boy's got the gym going, and it's got the getting ready for some GTL. So we'll see.
Show up to work, and this is how we do things, because the character, more importantly, the football character, is impeccable.
I think, Booger, that is the absolute number one reason why Will Anderson is the perfect fit for D'Amico Ryan.
Yes.
If you ever watch the San Francisco 49ers
So,
practice,
shout out to Jerry Springer, who passed away, RIP today. And so if you listen to me over the last 10 years, I've done this show called Outreach Radio Chicago. It's a community outreach show that I do on WSBC 1240 AM every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. And we just spotlight foundations, charities, people who are doing and impacting our community by doing amazing things. And forever, I've always signed off by, I'm Mike Mercado. Please take care of yourself and each other. We'll see you next time. And I thought it was some creative way of genuinely showing my love for the audience and, how I feel about the whole doing the show and whatnot. And then I forgot that that's how Jerry Springer used to kind of sign off. And I'm like, that thing has been stuck in my head all these years. It's like, So, homage, I guess, huh? Homage.
Okay, so that's something to keep a close eye on here as we wait for that. In the meantime, am I told Susie is ready? Subway brings us to the stage.
We'll go ahead and turn this off so that Disney doesn't get mad at us. So it looks like the Cardinals got pick number 12, 33, and a 2024 number 1. We'll see how all this Indy needs a QB. That is for sure. We'll see.
Man, they're good guys. They're smart. They know what they want out of players. They know how they want to use me, but they're good people. And for me, that's what I want to be around, good people.
D'Amico's a Bama guy.
Bama South 5, that's what we call it, baby. That's what we call it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Susie, thank you. The Texans are the third team in the common draft era to make 2 picks in the top.
Back-to-back picks. That was crazy. I did not see that coming.
In 1992, were the Stroud at 2 and Will Anderson at 3. Quickly, Mel, as we heard Adam Schefter describing what we thought the Colts might be looking for here. Shane Steichen comparing a quarterback to Jalen Hurts. One would think that might suit Anthony Richardson before one would think Will Levis.
Also did a great job as the OC with the Chargers with Justin Herbert when he had 31 touchdown passes, most ever by a rookie in the National Football League. Jalen Hurts, 18 rushing touchdowns, most ever by an NFL quarterback.
I do think if the Colts do go with Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, I do think Seattle would probably then go with Jalen Carter. I don't think if he goes to Detroit, he's not falling all the way down. For all the Bears fans who keep seeing the mocks, I don't think Jalen Carter is dropping to 9. He's going to be picked right after this Indianapolis in my opinion, right after this Indianapolis pick. But we're about to finally hear from the commissioner. We'll see where the Colts go.
That would make Indianapolis want to take this young man right here.
One would assume we're about to see the future of quarterback play in Indianapolis selected here in this draft. At this moment, we've seen 2 quarterbacks go off the board in the first 3 picks. Are we about to see the third? Here's the commissioner.
We'll find out. Here it is. The pick is in.
With the 4th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Anthony Richardson.
There it is. Anthony Richardson has gone number 3. Wow.
They go Richardson, a lot of upside and a lot.
So that's exactly the point, right? And you heard Greeny say it right there. They went with the attributes. They went with the measurements. They went with the potential. And the kid's got the look. He's got it all. We'll see if he puts it together in the NFL. And it's another good luck. Now that you got Will Anderson going after you, you got a contemporary against C.J. Stroud. So now you have Seattle coming up. This is where the draft stays and gets a little interesting. Will it be Jalen Carter here? Will this be the That's what we're waiting for, is for the Jalen Carter pick. Because then I think anything is up on the board for a lot of these different players. And taking a look right here. So Jalen Carter is still the best available. Will Levis, this is according to Mel Kiper. You guys can see it on the screen too if you're watching along. If you're just listening to me. But just talking this out loud so we can remember them. Bijan Robinson, the stud of the draft. They still have him at number 3. Devin Witherspoon, obviously from Illinois. Probably going to Detroit, if not Vegas. Or Christian Gonzalez. That's who will be. It would be them two for those 2 teams if Jalen Carter's picked. So those are who he has available still. Where is he from Texas Tech, the Tyree Wilson? That'd be interesting to see him end up at number 9. If he's at number 9, you don't even think about it. You pick him and you make your quick decision. And you're like, thank you, I love you, bye. So about 5 minutes left. We'll see. Seattle could shake up this whole thing. Oh, so I brought up earlier the Washington Commanders, Chicago Bears. If you're the Bears, would you go down to, I think 13-ish, 12-ish, 11-ish, wherever that is, if they gave you that pick and Chase Young? I mean, you would need to see him play. You would eventually have to invest a lot of money in him, but, I mean, it kind of answers the question, right? Kind of gives you the answer to the other side of the field, and then maybe you could pick Paris Johnson, Skoransky, whoever falls down there. Find out. I think Anthony Richardson would have been in play for Seattle as the long shot. I don't think Will Levis is, especially if they gave Geno Smith money. But even with Geno Smith, I think they would be willing to draft Anthony Richardson there. But right here, I think they have to pick Jalen Carter. I think it's dumb if the Seattle Seahawks don't pick Jalen Carter here. When we listening to ESPN and see what they're doing down in Kansas City.
60-yard touchdown run against Texas A&M. He has 4.4 speed. I mean, Donovan can do the same things when he was at Syracuse. He could do the same things when he was at Philadelphia. You're going to tell me that doesn't look very similar? Those big, giant hands, 10-inch hands.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you hear all the attributes. Like, hey, he's a stud. He's a stud. So we'll see how. I mean, that AFC South, man. What, between the Texans, the Jaguars, the Colts, and who am I missing? AFC Southwest. And the Titans? Like, are the Titans in play here? Do the Titans say, oh, okay, now we have to go get Will Levis? Can that be in play? Why don't we listen in and see if we hear anything?
This is a perfect pick for them. They need to be ecstatic in Indy.
Subway Susie with Anthony Richardson.
All right, so it's interview time, so we'll wait off for a second. I'm going to go ahead and go in live.
You are watching the 2023 NFL Draft.
You are watching the 2023 NFL Draft. Watch along with me, Mike Mercado, here on the Sports Cubicle at Sports from the Couch. Thank you guys so much for making us a part of your night. So we're here. The pick is going to be in, but why don't we take a quick little a break, go refill your cups, and we'll be back to see what the Seattle Seahawks do. Hope you guys are enjoying this draft watch along. It's just us having a chill, nice night. Doing it live on YouTube at youtube.com, the Sports Cubicle, or you can search us at Sports from the College everywhere in the universe, and it'll take you to us. Let's go ahead and still commercial time over on this side of the stream as well. Don't forget, check out sheetsandgiggles.com. They are making this possible tonight. Sheetsandgiggles.com. Use promo code the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch, for 15% off all bedding. Eucalyptus mattressing feels so good on your body. Get it ready for summertime. Make sure you're having a good time when you're sleeping. That's the most important thing in your health besides what you eat and how much you exercise. You got to make sure that you're sleeping well. Sheets and Giggles. Use promo code the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch, for 15% off.
Presented by
We are back.
Seattle's pick is in.
Will they go running back?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be crazy, right? If they win with Robinson? Interesting. I mean, they do have Kenneth Walker, so I don't think you would need to.
They would take a quarterback tonight. Now one wonders if the quarterback they wanted has already gone off the board.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, right? Like, Anthony Richardson was the only quarterback I think they would have gone after.
For Jalen Carter, his name has been linked.
That's who I think they're going to pick right now.
Last few weeks. We're about to find out. I see the commissioner making his way. Number 5, Seattle, and here's Roger Goodell.
With the 5th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft,
let's see who it is.
The Seattle Seahawks select Devin Witherspoon.
Wow. Okay, so Devin Witherspoon is now off the board, which means Bears fans, hold on to your butts. Hold on to your butts, because we are about to see if Jalen Carter will join up with Aiden Hutchinson, right? God, he's got me so shook. And gonna make you a walking nightmare every time you play Detroit if you're a Bears fan. Heck, if you're anybody in the NFC North. So this is going to be fascinating. This is going to be fascinating. This is the dream, though. If it comes down to it, man, and if the Lions go somewhere else, right? Maybe they go with Gonzalez or they go with Wilson or something. I mean, oh, man, I don't know. I mean, as a Bears fan, yeah, I'm terrified Jalen Carter ends up in Detroit. Look, I understand. This is going to be the count, right, of how many times I say Jalen Carter, but it's the story of the draft besides the quarterbacks. The guy was the consensus number 1, number 2 pick up until all the stuff that happened, rightfully so. And then he's showing up a little overweight, and there's questions about hustle, but the tape don't lie. So I don't know. Like, that's what terrifies me as a Bears fan. As a watcher of the NFL, it's fascinating to see how this all is going to play out and how he matches with a Detroit type of team. But man, as a Bears fan, and if you're watching it here, I get the complication of wanting him. Like, you know how bad you would need somebody like him. I still think there's a chance the Bears get one of these guys they want, but it looks like more and more they're going to trade out of number 9, I believe. I want to take a look to see who Milk still has as his best available. Jalen Carter, that one makes... It's the one we're all waiting to see what happens. Oh, it looks like for at least me, their lower third has broken down. Are you guys gonna get NFL Sunday tickets on YouTube TV? Let me know. That I've never had it. I've always wanted that, be able to have it and enjoy a Sunday like that. But it is really expensive. I mean, I guess I don't know. We'll find out. It's for my job. I'll talk to my tax lady. Fascinating draft already. So I did just get a message. Very interesting one. Detroit taking a quarterback. Look at this point in the draft. I haven't thought of that. I don't know if Will Levis is value at number 6 for them. But it is fascinating. What if they did go with Will Levis? What if they decided, like, hey, let's get a quarterback under a contract that is controllable. We'll let Jared Goff go at the end of the season. We'll figure something out. And we still have a lot of guys who are young, guys who, when they do get contracts, will be of that top tier ilk. And maybe we've struck. And in an NFC North now with no Aaron Rodgers, where Kirk Cousins is the veteran journeyman along with Jared Goff, who's been to a Super Bowl. But the most talent belongs to probably Justin Fields. We don't know what's going on with Jordan Love. But the best team probably is Minnesota, maybe. Like, do you take? Man, I don't know. Stuff that both offenses they come up with great difficult matchups. So. Why don't we go back to Kansas City?
The Lions were on the clock. Adam Schefter was going to tell you why that is no longer the case. Schefter,
oh my goodness!
The fireworks are exploding. We have another trade. The Arizona Cardinals have moved up to 6. So to recap, Arizona started the night at 3, traded to 12.
What is going on here?
Back up to 6 while getting an extra number 1 next year from Houston. And they have wanted to protect Kyler Murray and make sure that he is a top priority. I will not be surprised if it's an offensive tackle.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's like this is like a movie right now. What is happening?
In what direction should folks be expecting them to go?
You want the pure offensive tackle, it's Paris Johnson Jr. You want the versatile guy, it's Peter Skoronski. I say versatile, it's moving inside.
This is huge.
Guard center, which he hadn't done. He's been a left tackle.
If you're a Chicago Bears fan, this is huge. If you're a Raiders fan, this is huge. If you're a Atlanta Falcons fan. So here we go. 2023, 6th overall pick. The Lions received the 12th overall pick. 2023 second round pick. And some more apparently. Wow. What a draft. What a draft.
They have to start somewhere. This is the worst roster in the National Football League. And if you're going to start somewhere, start at left tackle, protecting your quarterback coming off the injury.
All right, so they've made some purposeful moves tonight. Again, they began the night at 3.
So what, okay.
12, they move back up and pick up extra draft capital.
So, okay, let's just look a little bit to events. If you're the Cardinals, okay, do you go with Skoronski or Paris Johnson? Okay, here we go. We'll actually find out.
It's Roger Goodell with Arizona.
The Detroit Lions have traded the 6th pick to the Arizona Cardinals. With the 6th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Paris Johnson Jr.
There it is. The first offensive lineman is off the board. Okay, so let's do some math for all you Bears fans, for all you Falcons fans, for all you Raiders fans. I think Christian Gonzalez is his name. I still think he's in play for the Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby, it makes it interesting with Jalen Carter. They'll do something maybe with Chandler Jones, right, I believe. We'll see what happens, right? So, okay, what about Atlanta? Do they go Jalen Carter? Do they go with Robinson? Do they trust their quarterback? Do they go with Will Levis? And then you get to the Bears. Are the Titans in play for any of this? We've literally seen 2 teams now trade down to trade back in. That's crazy. This is crazy. We'll see what the Raiders do. An unbelievable draft. Unbelievable draft. Thank you guys for joining. What a nice little birthday present, right? After all the amazing gifts I've gotten from my family, my amazing wife, all the friends and family, and all the amazing co-workers of the Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch. What a fun draft we're having. Fast moving too for us here. Again, if you're joining us here on our watch along, it is only until the Chicago Bears pick. Then we'll be joining with the marvelous one, Dan Marver, and with Devin Tingle. And it'll be fascinating to see the reaction of where the Chicago Bears are going. Look at, again, now that we're getting closer to it, you can't talk about culture if you're going to draft Jalen Carter. But at number 9, the value. Now, the moral part of it, you can't do it. You probably shouldn't do it. You probably can't do it. But the cynical business, GM, cutthroat part of it is like, you have no choice at number 9 if he's there. And unless somebody's willing to give you king's ransom, you have no choice but to make that pick.
Who was just selected moments ago after a trade here involving Arizona and Detroit. Subway takes us down to the stage, and Susie.
Paris Johnson, the connection, obviously, Ohio State, but the idea of the Chicago Bears, right? Justin Fields, Ohio State, and Bears, and getting the guy to protect your quarterback. You know, we'll see what happens with Skoronski. I think there is a chance that he's in play for the Bears. We'll see what happens with that. But Vegas and Atlanta make things really interesting. Atlanta needs a lot of help too. So it's not like they're not in play. But here's the thing, right? If you're the best case scenario for any of these teams, kind of just happened. You could get Jalen Carter. One of these teams could get Carter. One of these teams could get Gonzalez. The other team could get Wilson. If that's a way you want to go. Let's see. Jalen Carter 1, Will Levis 2. This is Mo Kiper's best available. See if anybody wants to trade up. See if Tennessee's testing the fate. Bijan Robinson at 3 still. It's going to be a game changer. We'll see where he ends up. It's going to be a steal of the draft. Christian Gonzalez, he might be going here to the Raiders. We'll see. The Raiders got pick of the litter. Skoronski, obviously, at 5, still available. We'll see. So there's still some interest. Let's see. Let's get down to Mel Kiper.
Player Jalen Carter still on the board. Will Levis, my number 2 quarterback, still there out of Kentucky. Bijan Robinson, we want to see when's the first running back. He's number 6 overall on my big board. Running back philosophy for me, not in the first round. Teams, though, I think are in a good position. We'll have to see if Philadelphia does the unexpected at 10.
That's who, man, if they get him in Philly.
A Jets uniform, because he can be that tackle, guard, center, that versatility that you need on that offensive line with Aaron Rodgers coming in. I will say this for the Raiders. That secondary needs Christian Gonzalez. And I'll tell you what, you get a guy with length. They got it. I think Jalen Carter, you think about the need there. I don't think so. I think Christian Gonzalez makes sense. Will they take the quarterback? You got Jimmy G. You go with the best corner at this point with Devin Witherspoon already off the board.
Yeah, it has to be Christian Gonzalez. I mean, look, the Raiders could shake this whole thing up.
Which is Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, look, they're 31st in QBR allowed, 29th in passing yards allowed. They had 6 interceptions last season total. Look, when we were out there for Week 18, for their matchup against Kansas City for Monday night, look, Josh McDaniels said we need people who can turn the football over. We just don't have playmakers on the defensive side of the football. We got to get Max Crosby some help. He can't just rush the passer. We need some people who can lock it down in the back end. So he has
the Patriots at 14 might go for Robinson.
Makes all the sense in the world.
We'll find out for that.
Left on the board.
You're trying to improve the pass defense. Do you do it from the back end? We always talk. Yeah, the defense front to back, inside out, or do so. Jalen Carter, Mel's number 1 player, is still on the board. They need somebody. They tried Chandler Jones. He hasn't worked. Max Crosby coming off the edge. They need a 3 technique. Is this a point where they go and say, you know what? The talent is too far to pass when it comes to Jalen Carter.
Again, it's about, how does Josh feel about his program at this point? Can he absorb that? Does he have the resources to go ahead and say, hey, look, we have the people along the defensive line, which he may.
Yes.
He may have some people on the defensive line that can say, hey, let me tell you something, Jalen. This is how to do it right. This is how to become a pro. Look, Max Crosby is one of the best teachers of that, of anybody. So they could definitely consider it. But I just wonder how they feel about that compared to the fact that in the secondary and in the division where they need some people who can pick off the quarterback. They're trying to take down Mahomes.
And Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech, we had talked about maybe it's 2, that foot injury.
Absolutely.
In November, that
That's
foot injury may be a reason why he's dropped, because they can certainly use him. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll keep an eye on Carter with the Jalen Carter with the character.
If you're Atlanta, if you're Chicago, if you're Philadelphia, are you in on Tyree Wilson or Skoronski?
Sliding away hadn't hurt quarterbacks. They turned out to be pretty good. They do drop this.
But I do, you know what, Tyree Wilson, he is the wild card here. Because I'll tell you what, as far as pressure percentage this past year, he was number 2 in the country. He has some unique things.
I'm fascinated on Wilson too.
Josh McDaniels has to get with his medical staff and say, hey, look, just tell me.
Paul and I have had a lot of conversations about how big of a year this is for Josh McDaniels. I do believe it's do or die for him when it comes to his tenure as a Raiders head coach.
You're right. If you want to build it front to back, which I believe in too.
Absolutely.
This is a guy who you have to trust your medical staff, though. They have to tell you you're good to go, turn in the card. If not, go at corner.
The Raiders need help in the defensive secondary, but it hasn't been for lack of trying. They've taken 5 defensive backs in the first round in the previous 10 years, which is tied for the most in the NFL in that stretch, Mel. It just hasn't worked out in many cases.
No, it hasn't. And it's a tough debate, because we talk about Jalen Carter's talent, but the character concern. And this is an organization.
And that's what I was saying if you're a Bears fan, right? Like how you can't talk about culture, you can't talk about any of these things without, if you go with Jalen Carter. But we'll see if the Raiders take that out of the hands of Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, and Matt Eberflus.
I mean, just think about it. You have Max Crosby and you have Chandler Jones. And you still finished 27th in sacks. So you know that right now.
They didn't get a lot out of Chandler, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's why pass rusher has to be in consideration here.
That's a big thing Paul and I were speaking on, but we'll find out. It's coming up right now.
Who it is, he will get booed in this city. There's very little question the fans in Kansas City will boo the newest Las Vegas Raider. Let's find out who it's going to be.
With the 7th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Tyree Wilson.
Wow. They went Tyree Wilson.
All right, so there he is, a transfer from Texas A&M. He had a huge
That is huge.
15 and a half tackles for loss. 43 pressures before breaking the foot in November. He was the Red Raiders' first team All-American since 2018. Mel, 6'6", 270, and every scouting report begins with the long arms.
Yes, the long arms. You talk about
That is a nice pick for the Raiders. That's a nice pick. If you're Paulie Dangerous, that you have to be excited. But we are one step closer, guys. If you're here in Chicago, to the Chicago Bears making their pick. The Atlanta Falcons are currently on the clock. Then the Chicago Bears will make their pick. Thank you for joining us on this watch along here on the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. We appreciate it. Make sure you're checking out our friends over at Cheats and Giggles. Get 15% off betting right now using the promo code the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. We'll be right back. I'm gonna go ahead and get a quick slice of pizza. Yeah, we'll find out about Will Levis. All right. Some delicious pizza. Thank you to my wife. Ooh, I can't wait for that Guardians movie. It's going to be good. All right, so the Falcons pick is in. Bears fans, hold on to your butts again. Oh, this is going to be a fun few years if Jalen Carter falls to pass this pick. I think Atlanta has to pick him. We'll find out. Would Atlanta take a quarterback right now? I don't know. Look, it's a rebuilding NFC South. So if you're ever going to do it, now's a chance to do it, I guess, right? Like, this would be the moment that you could kind of get away with it. And right after this, we'll take an actual quick break. We'll run some of the commercials, and we'll put up the logo and the you guys can see the promo stuff. And I will send out the links to Marvelous and to Devin, and we'll do a quick live reaction to the Bears after they have made their pick. And we will break down the NFL draft over the next few days, over the next few weeks here on the Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch. Make sure you're following us all over social media. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media, Instagram Mike Mercado Media. Make sure you subscribe to us here if you're watching us live on YouTube right now on this watch along of the draft. We're on YouTube.com. the Sports Cubicle, or just search Sports from the Couch here on YouTube and all over wherever you get your favorite podcasts to find us. And, of course, a shout-out to our friends over at Sheets and Giggles. Get 15% off all betting at sheetsandgiggles.com using promo code The Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. And, of course, I love you and thank you for all of you for joining us here on my birthday during this awesome first round of the NFL Draft. Love you all. Shout out to my wife, my family, my friends, and all of you, of course, who are all family and friends. Look, man, if I'm the Falcons, I don't mess around and I go get maybe Robinson or Carter. That's it. Like, I don't think about anything else. Like, I know Will Levis is there, but is he really worth it when you have that kind of talent? And in the AFC South, where like somebody like Alvin Kamara lives, and you have an offense like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and just whatever is going to happen in Carolina. It's interesting, but why don't we go in and we see what's going on in Kansas City?
Welcome back to Kansas City, where the Atlanta Falcons pick is in at number 8. They could certainly use help rushing the passer. Their 39 sacks in the last 2 seasons are 23 fewer than any other.
I really don't know what the Bears are going to do. I have no idea.
So there are plenty of pass rushers still available.
Like, I'm running every scenario, even like them trading down. Where have they got Skoransky?
Falcons will go in that direction or in another. The commissioner making his way to the stage on a loud night here in Kansas City.
That first night, the first round kind of right now has belonged to the Texans still.
And the commissioner enjoying a little sweet Caroline. He seems to enjoy the meal.
Yeah. We get it. Let's move it going. We'll see how this plays out. I can't wait for the draft to come back to Chicago. Chicago was a really fun host city for the NFL draft. We'll see how this breaks down now for the Chicago Bears.
For the Atlanta Falcons pick, I'm joined by Chris and Shane from Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Oh, that's cool.
Chris and Shane are a true testament to the power of mentorship. The NFL and its teams work closely with Big Brothers Big Sisters of America as part of our work on social justice through our initiative, Inspired Change. The Falcons are big-time supporters of the organization, and they're thrilled to have Chris and Shane making their pick. Okay, guys, take it away.
Here we go. Let's see what Atlanta does. Aw.
With the 8th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Bijan Robinson.
There you go. Bijan Robinson. I've been saying Bijan. Bijan Robinson. Stud.
Wow.
The stud of the draft.
In a word, Bijan Robinson is spectacular.
Yeah. Like this is going to be sick for Atlanta. They are going, they have themselves somebody special. Like, I don't know. I know we live in a world now where the quarterback doesn't matter. You know, the running back doesn't matter. We've replaced the position, and, you know, it doesn't have the same impact. But when you're versatile, when you could do so many different things, when you have to be game planned around, it's huge. It's huge. So, we're getting down to the moment now. We're going to find out.
I need a bell cow. I need a guy who can do it all. Look at this elusiveness. Look at it. Spin with 1, 2, 3. Stiff arm. Stiff arm again. Sit down. Get off of me. I mean, he can do it all. Contact balance.
Actually talking to Devin and Paulie right now as they are watching the draft. Hopefully they're being safe. So we'll actually hear from Devin in a little while. But they just asked who I would go with. Honestly, look, man, it's tough. You can put all the morals you want about this, but unless you get a deal that is so crazy, so mind-blowing, again, I think you pick Jalen Carter. Because if it comes down to who's more valuable, Skoransky or Jalen Carter, it's one guy. It's Jalen Carter. But hold on 1 second. Looks like something just came up here.
He wore the number 5 because his football idol.
What is this that I just see? A trade?
In a moment, but first, I'm told Shefty has more breaking news. Shefty.
Well, Greeny, the Philadelphia Eagles have moved up to number 9 here.
What the heck?
When we look at the board, Jalen Carter is the number 1 player on Mel's board. And if we go back to where he played at college, he played with the Eagles picks last year. Jordan Davis.
Oh, my gosh.
The Eagles have done a lot of work on him. This is later than people thought Jalen Carter would go. We'll see if he winds up being the pick, Greeny.
All right, so again, this is that 9 spot that originally had been possessed by Carolina. They
The Bears, again, they have traded down. This is what we've talked. I mentioned on the text thread just now where I was mentioning to you guys, is either Carter or trade down, and sure enough, they've traded downs.
The Philadelphia Eagles. So how ironic would it be if the Eagles go back and try to recreate the tandem that was at Georgia, Jordan Davis?
Wow. Unbelievable. The Bears have traded down. I think now we know.
Hey, this is a running back. Tyler Algier, BYU running back, had a really nice year running the football for Atlanta. They drafted Kyle Pitts. They drafted Drake London.
I mean, this makes sense for them, too. They think they're right there. They think they're ready to win a championship, and you bring in a force like that.
Is it a luxury pick when you got a really good back? Now, hey,
there you go.
If he's Saquon Barkley, I get it. If he's not, then you already have a good back in Algier, and you have Christian Gonzalez, cornerback Oregon, sitting there for a secondary that could have used them.
But to your point with Atlanta, nobody ran the football in the National Football League more than Atlanta. So, yeah, Algiers had a good season, but when you can get
this
is
like fascinating. I can't believe the Bears did it again. I think they're good, man. Maybe for all I know, they're just going to keep trading down and down and down.
Look, I think we forget just how look, Saquon was like one type of talent. Like Adrian Peterson, those type of guys. Look, I get you have that discussion there. I'm with you, Mel. Mel's converted me. Okay, I'm one of these guys who now believes. Look, there's just too much evidence that suggests that in the top of the second, late first, you can get running backs who are going to be Pro Bowlers, who are going to be MVP candidates. Look, Arthur Smith had one in Derrick Henry, who was a second rounder down in Tennessee, so he knows. But I'll tell you what, moving forward to this pick here with Philadelphia, you think about the veteran presence they have on the defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, they have to be going Jalen Carter.
A guy like Jalen Carter. Fletcher Cox. Remember that name, too.
Guy Subway's taking us down to the stage, and Susie, who's with Bijan. Susie.
Another.
Fascinating. I mean, we're about to see. I don't know if they do any more trading after that, but that was unbelievable. That was crazy. I mean, Ryan Poles does it again. When we go live again with Devin and the Marvelous One, we'll go ahead and see what the exact trade was and see if we can figure that out, because that is a heck of a move for the Chicago Bears. Let me see if I can actually find out what the Bears... Excuse me for 1 second. Excuse me. Let's go back to Kansas City.
Thank you. Susie, thank you. Lewis.
Yeah, look, when you're just talking about Philadelphia and them being on the clock right now, and we're having this discussion about Jalen Carter, I mean, just think of some of the other names. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, I mean, Hassan Reddick. These guys are all pros. When you talk about strong personality, they will absolutely take a young player and say,
so let's see if we can find this. The Eagles are taking Georgia, the defensive tackle, Jalen Carter at number 9, and reuniting him with Jordan Davis and Akeem Dean. Okay, so that is what it looks like they're going to do. But what is the draft? What do they get back? So, yeah, I mean, you're about to hear right now, but it was obvious Jalen Carter is going to Philadelphia. So let's go ahead before we get to the picks, and today is coming. It looks like the reports have already broken, and it's just all obvious. Jalen Carter going to Philadelphia makes sense for a team that was just at the Super Bowl, has paid its quarterback, has money already invested in guys, and now you have a rookie contract with Jalen Carter, who, if you got what you think is enough veterans to steer him right, then it's a steal. But I think more for anything, Ryan Poles stays away from that headache.
The 9th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 9th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jalen Carter, defensive tackle, Georgia.
So there it is. The football part of his story is easy. 6 sacks, 103 tackles.
Yeah, that's an easy. That was easy. It looks like he wanted to just stay away from that headache. So we'll find out how much this impacts Ryan Poles long term. But the Bears are now on the clock for whatever that's worth. They've been on the clock plenty of times, and I don't know how often they've actually made that pick.
Were killed. So this was, in its own way, the most difficult decision of this draft. Let's go to Shefty and Chris Mortensen for the insight into how it was made. Guys?
Yeah, I can tell you here, Greeny, the Philadelphia Eagles went back and forth on this pick. And Drew Rosenhaus,
so the pick is in.
Roseman today to begin to try to work him and put Jalen Carter on the phone with the Eagles to try to convince them to take him. I think early in this process, the Eagles were not thinking of Jalen Carter. But when the board fell the way it did, he was the one player there that they loved, and they decided to move up one slot to try to take him.
But he was a tough discussion for a lot of teams. I know at least 3 teams picking in front of the Eagles that took him off their draft board, Greeny.
All right, Mel, he was the #1 player on your board.
Yeah,
well, we want to know. We've come to this moment. It looks like they will be picking at
He had the ankle injury against Oregon, first game of the season, right? So
right here at number 10. We'll find out.
Missouri, October 1st, comes back from that against Florida, October 29th. Finished out the season and helped this football team, this Georgia defense, this overall.
Looks like they got a 4th rounder. I don't know.
Hey, Jackson Smith and Jig got a hamstring, didn't play. Jalen Carter came
Ooh, I don't know about that. A 4th rounder?
31 quarterback hurries, as I say. They give away hurries at Georgia, like give away candy on Halloween. But again, Jalen Carter was in the backfield.
Ooh, I don't know, man. A 2024 4th rounder?
215 pounds, 315 pounds. A guy who is tough to block. The interior pressure he gets on a consistent basis wreaks havoc. And it really,
Man, I don't know, man.
Jalen Carter didn't have any issues.
It's not even so much like I understand everything about the Jalen Carter, and like now wanting to pick him. That's what you got? I don't know, man. So where do they go? Skoronski? Is this where they go? Skoronski? Maybe? Probably, right? They need an offensive lineman. Just don't do anything stupid. Please, just don't do anything stupid. Don't look at all I want to look at. Please, Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, Kevin Warren, the entire regime. You did an awesome job with that first trade. I'm a little iffy on this trade. Please do not mess this up. Please don't overthink this. It seems like you might have overthinked it a little bit just now. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Chief. That one doesn't sit well with me. Not so much that you didn't get Jalen Carter, but more, what did you get back? You moved down a little bit. Did you? We'll find out. We'll find out. I don't know. I can't wait to hear what Marver and what Devin have to say. We'll be doing that in just a few minutes. Pick is in, though. The Bears, they've already put the graphics up. We'll find out who they go with. Let's listen to the experts.
Special the performance from this young man was.
Look, this guy, I'm telling you, it's like a man playing with boys. His quickness, when you talk about, just look at.
Of course, this audio courtesy of ESPN in the 2023 NFL Draft, live from Kansas City. And we are watching along with each and every one of you here on the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch. Shout out to our friends over at Cheats and Giggles. Use our promo code, the Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch, for 15% off all betting right now. And yeah, we've seen it. The Bears have moved down. They traded number 9 for number 10. They get a 2024 4th rounder. Jalen Carter fell all the way down to number 9, and he went to the Philadelphia Eagles. And it has been a crazy trade where the Cardinals and especially the Texans have gone out and done some interesting stuff. And Will Levis has been the quarterback that has dropped, so this is going to be one that goes down the books. Years from now, we'll be looking back at this draft to see what could have been, what might have been, what is, and just like any draft, right, was with these results. But when it comes to the Bears, just please just don't do anything dumb. Please. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Reiterate the last 2 times this happened. Warren Sapp, number 3 on my board, dropped to a 12. Right, turned out to be a great player. Laramie Tunsil, number 1 on the board, dropped to 13.
What do the Bears? They need. Man, look at. Why not just trade out of 10? I know it makes for a longer night, but why not just trade out of 10? At this point, just trade out of the first round. Nope, the pick is in. Looks like we're going to get to it. I mean, look at what about Christian Gonzalez? All right, here we go. Let's do the Chicago Bears pick.
Here we go.
With the 10th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Darnell Wright.
Okay.
Offensive tackle, Tennessee.
So, there it is. Here we go. Let's listen to the recap and we'll talk about it.
Team All-SEC player, finishing up a terrific career in which he played a lot and all over the line. Started 27 games at right tackle, 13 at left, 2 at right guard. In all, he played over 2,700 snaps in his 4 years. Lewis, great size and power, originally a 5-star recruit out of Huntington, West Virginia.
And look, I believe that this young man, when it's all said and done, has the ability to be the best player in this draft. At 6'5", 333 pounds, almost cracked 5 flat in the 40-yard dash. He is big, mean, nasty. Ask Will Anderson. I asked Will Anderson, who's the best player you played against? He instantly said, oh, that offensive tackle from Tennessee. I said, Darnell Wright, huh? Yeah, he's got feet, he's got punch, he's got lateral agility. He can absolutely knock you off the football and knock you 5. That's Brian Brzee right there. He's taking him on the other side of the center, 5 yards downfield. And as far as being a mauler, look, he's going to finish it, even in pass pro. If you let up at all and you don't get off, he's going to put you on the ground like that, and he's going to put his helmet right in your chest. And I can tell you this, as far as recovery, the feet, Book, I'm telling you, if you were rushing against this guy, you're sitting there going, well, where should I go? What do I do? I can't run down the middle. I can't get on his edge. And if I get out in space and I'm a second-level player, make sure your chin strap's buckled. Just make sure it's buckled, because that's what will happen to you.
And just like Arizona getting Paris Johnson protecting the quarterback, Chicago gets the tackle to protect Justin Fields. He was sacked 55 times last year. You got to protect your quarterback, and they got a guy that adds a mean.
Look at his feet. That's 333 pounds, folks.
Feet like typewriter, baby.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Guys, it wasn't just Will Anderson Jr. He neutralized LSU's B.J. Ojulari as well. He went up against Byron Young every day in practice. Byron Young will probably be a second-round pick coming off the edge from that Tennessee Vols program. He had 27 starts.
Oh, good-looking kid. Good-looking family.
Two at guard. This is Ryan Poles, GM, saying, I got to need it right tackle.
I mean, it's an offensive lineman GM, right? This is what I just messaged to the group, and I'm about to tweet out. Smart move. Boring, but smart.